Hey everyone, today is April 6th, 2024, and I'm going to do this video about the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse, and I'm going to be connecting it to the Mothman, Wormwood, and of course Pope Francis. Casey Jones, he did this community post the morning that it happened, and he pretty much nailed it right on the head with the connection to Pope Francis here and the bridge builder. And we'll get more into that because there's going to be two parts to this video. This is just going to show you all the number connections to the ritual, and then we'll get more into the actual nuts and bolts of what it means in part two. Okay, but if you remember, back in August of 2023, I did two videos about the Mothman prophecy, how it was connected to Chicago. Right, the Mothman preceded the Silver Bridge collapse on December 15th, 1967. Right, sightings of the Mothman cryptid preceded the Silver Bridge collapse over the Ohio River in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. And then I showed you how, right, there were 55 sightings of Mothman in Chicago during 2017. And Chicago's a city I've been looking at for a very long time. It has to do with the Revelation earthquake. Okay, but the one of the connections here, you know, the Silver Bridge collapse is connected to the Mothman. Not only do we have the bridge collapse, right, obviously connecting that, but silver itself, the element of silver, has to do with the alchemical element or alchemical metal of the moon, right? The moon's alchemical metal is silver. Pope Francis, he's from Argentina. Argentum means silver. And then the Vatican symbol is the gold and the silver key, right? The alchemical metal of the moon is silver. Alchemical metal of the sun is gold. And the magic square of the sun sums to 666. And that is the flag of Argentina, the May sun. So we have like a symbolic eclipse, you know, just coded into the country and the country's flag, you know, the combining of the sun and the moon, right? And there's actually a natural alloy called electrum that's made of silver and gold. But Argentina, Pope Francis, all this is connected. The Silver Bridge collapse and the Mothman. And I'll show you how it connects directly to a wormwood number. Okay. But electrum, right, kind of sounds like electricity. But of course, you know, we're told that the ship lost power before it hit the bridge and caused the collapse. Now, one thing I guess you kind of have to understand when you look at this stuff, that it, you know, we live in a self-revealing system, right? It's always trying to show you what's going on, you know, whether these events are, you know, primed, you know, as, you know, intentionally, or if they're completely organic. It seems like they always end up, you know, revealing the same archetypes, the same mythologies, the same numbers, you know, related to that archetype. And, you know, the archetypes we're looking at here today are the Mothman and Wormwood. And then we'll get a little bit more in part two about what, you know, it's a commercial ship, commerce, right? You can't buy and sell, right? Commerce is buying and selling without the mark of the beast, but we'll get more into that in part two. But just to show all the correlations here, how everything fits together, Casey hit it right on the head. I left these comments on the Casey Jones community post he did on YouTube, but the ship was called the Dolly. Now, the first thing I went to look at here, see if there was a, you know, mythological Dolly, and there is, and it's a goddess from mythology of the Georgian people. That's kind of like an area north of Turkey, between Russia and Turkey, but it's she is a hunting goddess. So the first correlation is she's comparable to Artemis, which is the goddess of the hunt in the Greek mythology. And Artemis, of course, relates to Artemisia absinthium, which is wormwood. But that's not the only connection, because there's a direct number connection as well. But there's your, your kind of your mythological connection here with Dolly and Artemis, both the goddesses of the hunt, right? And Artemis is wormwood. So, showed you guys all about the Mothman several months ago, but here's the Mothman art fandom Wikipedia or wiki page, and it's located in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and it was actually made by a man named Robert Roach. And I was looking for dates on this website here, and the only date it gives, he died on August 30th, 2015 at the age of 81. So I thought I'll do a date to date here from his death to the bridge collapse. You can see it's 31 days. And since we're talking about the moon, and we're actually coming up to a huge moon ritual, right? In a couple days here with the eclipse, right? The moon's going to eclipse the sun here, creating that X over Carbondale, right? Carbon, the 666, the sun has the 666 magic square, both references to Mark of the Beast here. The Mark of the Beast has to do with commerce, but, right, a few days here, we have our X eclipse, big, huge moon ritual. Well, if we look at the date to date from the guy who made the Mothman statue to the bridge collapse, it's 31 days, so I want to convert that to lunar months. And you can see it's 106 lunar months. Okay, I'll just subtract 1 day here just so you can see how close it is here. Right, and it's exactly 106 lunar months. Okay, from the guy's death who made the Mothman statue. Mothman has to do with bridge collapse, and then to the bridge collapse. So we have 106 lunar months. Mothman connected to the silver bridge. The moon, of course, is has the alchemical element of silver. So that's where we're getting this, converting it to the lunar months here. So 106 lunar months, and we're talking about the Mothman prophecy. Right? Prophecy even equals 106. And if you know anything about the number 106, the 106th prime is 577. Right? And I've showed you guys this number before, because if you convert 811, right, the Wormwood star from Revelation 8:11, if you convert 8:11 from the base 10 number to the base 12 number, it's 577, right? So there's your direct correlation with the 577, being that the 106th prime is 577. So that's a Wormwood number, okay? And let's see here. A few more things here. Go through. Okay, so we have the eclipse coming up here in 2 days on the 8th, and I just wanted to say, there's so much in the media right now about schools closing and, National Guard, and so many people are going to the eclipse path. I think that's a bunch of, it's all being hyped up, right? Because there's, so much, quote unquote conspiracy connected to this eclipse, but I think it's going to be a big inflation of all this, and then when nothing happens, it's a big deflation, kind of just to discredit all the people, all the quote unquote conspiracy theorists. But I don't think anything bad's going to happen. But there are definitely, I would look out for, all the stories and all the the side events, right, that are going to happen on that day, the news stories, things that go on. But I wouldn't actually worry about that upcoming eclipse at all. What's interesting though is that this eclipse, I've showed you this, but it's Millennium Lunation 300, And the August 21st, 2017 eclipse was Millennium Lunation 218. 300 plus 218 is 518. So, maybe I'm kind of looking at May 18th as, maybe we'll see our first kind of manifestation of the eclipse ritual, what's going on here. But May 18th is an interesting day because it connects to the, the Millennium Lunation numbers of the two X's. And of course, the other X is going to be completed over Uvalde, Texas, with that annular eclipse back from October of 2023. So we have our two X's, and I went through the movie 300, how it connected directly to this upcoming eclipse here. Okay, and then of course there was an eclipse in Argentina at the exact midpoint between the X eclipses, right? So that was 12/14/2020, and let's see here. I think I'm going to save the rest of this for the other video, but just keep in mind here that, like I said, you live in a self-revealing system, and it's always showing you what it's doing. So keep in mind here the symbolism is we have a commercial ship and a bridge. The bridge is, kind of represents, let's say it represents the Pope, right? The Pope is the bridge builder, the Pontiff is the bridge builder. And commerce, the mark of the beast. But, there's heavy symbolism here to go along with these archetypes. And, it was interesting that after the bridge collapse, Joe Biden, he said that, he made a specific statement that the federal government is going to pay for the reconstruction of the bridge. And if you know anything about looking up etymology, it's always one of the first things you should do when you're looking at all this stuff. But, the etymology of federal is a covenant between God and man, right? And right now, you could say that, commerce, or the mark of the beast, has been, right, inserted in between God and man, right? We're kind of separated, and, that's why he came out with, the federal government, right? The government between God and man, right? So, one more thing here. If you look at YouTube, they actually have a Mothman live stream, and it started on November 29th, 2023. So very interesting here. But let's do a date-to-date on that. 11/29/2023 to the bridge collapse, and you can see it's 3 months, 26 days as well. So super interesting that they actually started this live stream of the Mothman in Point Pleasant 3 months, 26 days before 3/26. So pretty interesting date-to-date as well. Like I said, the system is always, trying to show you what it's doing, whether it's intentional or not. I don't think all of it together can be intentional or, planned so much as it is, the organic system kind of revealing itself to you, or to us. Okay, guys, yep, that's all I had here. Casey Jones nailed it on the head right away. The Wormwood connection, the Pope Francis connection, and I'm going to get to this in the part 2 here. We're going to talk about Unum Sanctum, which is a papal bull. We're going to talk more about the mark of the beast and some of this other stuff that connects to this bridge collapse. So just wanted to show you the number rituals, the Mothman. Even the mainstream media was giving you the Mothman clue because of the bridge collapse, but it ended up being a very, very tight ritual here with these elements here. So just for fun here, I measured from the Silver Bridge to the Francis Scott Key Bridge, and the pins here That's directly from the Wikipedia page. You know, I copy and paste the decimal, exact decimal locations that are given for the two bridges here. But so I'm just not, you know, making this up, but I'll just show you the distance here. It's kind of interesting. So it's exactly 303 miles, right? Off by 0.03, but 303 miles. There's our 33. Of course, a you know, a number we see in these type of rituals a lot. So yeah, very interesting. It's Francis Scott Key Bridge, 303 miles from Silver Bridge collapse. So okay, guys. Yep, I'll get to a part 2 here, and thanks for watching.